Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to my GTA 5 Mod Spotlight series, where today we are having a look at yet another fun mod, this time in the form of the Airstrike mod, being made by user Leela, if I even pronounce that even slightly correct. And, well, what this particular mod adds into the game is the ability for you, well, to call in airstrikes. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's basically in the name, and oh, is it just glorious. So, we are over at the airport with Franklin to demonstrate, and it's pretty simple mod really to use. All you need to do is, while wandering around the world, hit the asterisk key on your number pad, and you go into this beautiful airstrike camera mode, which you may notice on the top right hand corner you do have some instructions. You use the WASD keys to move around, and spacebar to call in airstrikes, and it will call in said airstrike on wherever you're essentially centered on the location on this camera mode. So if we hit spacebar, we should drop fiery explosions of death down upon this intersection here, and it is just beautiful. Who doesn't love causing destruction in the Grand Theft Auto series and causing all the pedestrians to run away in fear? It's just entertaining. And a bit more complicated than just moving around and hitting space. You have quite a few lovely little options in this mod, so if we hit asterisks again and go into the airstrike camera mode, we will have a few extra options on how to actually call in the airstrikes and what sort of effects you're going to get from it. And to make or change those options, you simply hit the F10 key, which is the default key to open up the airstrike menu, and in here you have a few glorious options. Now, first thing I want to point out is a beautiful option here, change keys. This allows you to change the key bindings for this mod in the game. It's a wonderful addition. I wish more mods had this, because some of the mods that are out there, you actually have to go into config files or something to actually change the keys. Here you can do it yourself, and of course reset all values back to default, always useful. And then we have these three beautiful options which actually affect the airstrikes themselves. Now, the first one is the amount of strikes, and that is how many explosive shells are going to fall out of the sky onto your particular target. And you can go all the way down to 0 and all the way up to 100 shells, which, oh dear God, that takes a very, very long time. I used that one earlier. It took several minutes to drop all the shells. It was... oh boy, don't do 100 unless you have fast strike on, which we'll get to in a moment. Now, another thing I want to point out about this amount of strikes, never activate your airstrike when it's on 0. I'll get into why in a moment. So let's set it keep it at 20. And then the area size, what this does is it changes the area where the airstrike will be spread over. And it too goes down to 0, which you should never start an airstrike on 0, trust me. And goes all the way up to 50. And one thing you may have just noticed is in our mini-map down on the bottom left-hand corner, that red circle gets bigger and smaller depending on what this area size is, and that is a glorious little addition. That circle is where the airstrike is going to happen. While it's set here to 50, if we move around with the WASD keys, you can notice that that circle is also moving around on the minimap, and that will help make sure that you don't blow yourself to smithereens, because right now, if we drop the airstrike here at an area size of 50, we'd be in the kill zone, and that's, well, we'd be fine because I have Invincible turned on right now, but normally, yeah, that just wouldn't be a smart idea. But I do like that addition because it gives you a visual indicator of where the things are going to drop. Though, of course, if you move outside of the minimap range, it's not so useful then. But, you know, you really don't need it to be as useful at that sort of range. But when you are trying to call an airstrike in when you're closer to the character, it's good to see the actual area, so once again, you don't blow yourself up. Now, the last option that we have here is Fast Strike, and that determines how quickly the shells that rain down from the sky will fall. So when it's off, you'll get that default speed that you just saw moments ago when we dropped that airstrike. It's about a shell a second or so, and if you turn it on, it's about every half second or so. It's a lot more rapid fire of these strikes, which I like keeping this on because well, it just makes the airstrike go more quickly, especially if you have a larger number of airstrikes coming in. It's good to keep it on to fast strike, but we're going to keep this down to 20 because, well, it's nice to make it go a little more quickly. And we'll turn this to 50 and sort of move this back. Actually, we'll turn up the number of strikes a bit here. And before we activate this, I probably should explain, I kind of forgot I told you about the 0 thing. I should probably explain why you should never activate the mod when either this are at 0. And that's because it'll crash the mod. And the only way to get it started back up again seems to be to actually restart the game. So that is something to keep in mind. Never activate the airstrikes when you have either of those on 0, because, well, the mod doesn't like it. It won't want to cooperate. But yes, area size of 50, amount of strikes at 50, fast strike on, and you'll see the difference between the speed of the first airstrike we did and this particular one. And here they come! Okay, so maybe it's a bit more than every half second or so. It's, oh boy, maybe every quarter or tenth of a second, potentially. But yeah, that is a lot of explosive shells raining down on the area, and my god, that taxi made it through. That is one hardcore taxi driver. Okay, and yeah, well, that's the Airstrike mod. I really don't know what else I can do to show it off. It's not exactly the most complicated thing in the world, but my god, is it glorious good fun. And if we do go back into the Airstrike camera mode here and hit spacebar again, it will remember whatever you had the settings on F10 set to previously. So if we dropped to these airstrikes now, it'd be back at the 50 amount of strikes, 50 area. And so it does remember that, which is handy if you want to continuously drop in the same airstrike over and over. Personally, I actually like doing smaller amounts of strikes on smaller areas, trying to do some form of surgical attack. Like, let's see if we can hit this van here that's in that intersection. Goodbye, van. Oh, he drove away before the airstrikes fell. Oh, I didn't compensate for that. I did not compensate for. Oh, he's in the intersection now, though. I need to get him before I end the video. This is what I spend my time doing on this mod. I sit here trying to do strategic strikes on people just to see if I can hit them. But those two cars, oh, they're screwed. All right, bye-bye. There we go, and it's beautiful good fun. And a great mod overall. So if you would like to give the Airstrike mod a go for yourself, you can follow the link in the description as always, and I really do hope you go and check it out. It is pretty fun and entertaining, and you can just spend hours of fun just kind of dropping a random amount of explosions everywhere. So to end, I'm just going to drop a huge airstrike basically on myself and try and kill everything else in the area, and it should be good fun. So I hope you all have enjoyed this episode, and of course that you come back for the next. But until then, thank you for watching, my friends, and as always, have a good one. Now, to the destruction of everyone. Oh god, that fell right on top of me. Thank god I have Invincible turned on. Well, later, folks. I'm going to jump into Armageddon. Bye-bye!